What's up, people? Thank you for tuning in. 420, the day after Bicycle Day. Indeed, it's a good few days for our people. Is currently a premiere or live stream. This is a live stream. Uncle Bud, how are you doing? DnB, correct. Premium DnB. Yo, Dash, didn't know you made DnB. This is not bad, brother. Thank you very much. Big fan of your sound design videos. Cool to see you making this style too. Yeah, I've made like a couple of DnB tracks and stuff. Like I had a bit of a side project a couple of years ago, but nothing too serious. I kind of hadn't really broken down the genre, and at that point, a lot of people were telling me it just kind of sounds like, still sounds like Psytrance, but. Is my mic loud enough, guys? Or am I very soft? Should I maybe turn up my settings here? I'll do that while there's stuff playing. But then, so yeah, I'm digging this track, digging the groove. I added a couple of orchestral things in here from Spitfire Labs, which I want to get into, like processing a little bit and stuff. When will the cake kick in? About 10 minutes ago. Just kidding. So yeah, from Spitfire Labs, I want to go into like a bit of processing on those as well. And I also want to add like a running sub bass. So one thing I noticed while listening to a couple of references and stuff, which I don't want to play in the stream for copyright purposes, so I'm actually just going to put that away. I noticed that my track is lacking in the like rolling sub. So it's got like the sort of kick sub and it's got the kind of like melodic sub, but it doesn't have the kind of running thing, if you know what I mean. So I started working on something, but I wasn't really impressed with how it was sounding, so I want to recreate something, so we can maybe just look into experimenting a little bit with that today. I also want to render some stuff out. I think the project's getting a little bit busy, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, just at me in the chat. You know the vibe. How you doing, Hartwig? 1 2 1 2. Is that a bit better? Am I a good volume now? Okay, it might be a bit loud. Cool. Oh, I didn't even save that epic preset we made last time. I think there it does like a key change thing. Maybe I can just render this whole segment out as like one piece. So let's just color all these differently. What's happening there? I think there needs to be like more transition before the like breaks section there anyway. But I think, yeah, let's work at just cleaning the project up a little bit and creating a nice solid sub layer. I think it's missing that in the more DnB parts. Why is it not allowing me to render? Is it because there's stuff in between? That is so odd. What? Oh, it's because it's muted. Haha, silly me. My favorite strain. It's such a hard question because, yeah, if it's tasty, I like it. Eh? It'll probably be easier to create like a nice sub if we just like, oh yes, I want to show you guys something. Listen to that reverb. I think this is a thing called Cloud Seed. It's a free reverb. Wow, it is so good. So fucking good. I think it's on this sound here. Let me show you what it sounds like with and without. Magical. Now this is it without it. Boring as fuck. Your max terpenes, that's me, bro. I'm just going to use the same layer here. You should do an Iron Man in the track. Maybe I should look for some samples there. I'm just going to use the same preset and just like remove some of the modulations, and then we can try to figure out some notes that are going to work. Okay, baseline is too shiny. Okay, let's do a Reese then. Something subtle like faceplant neurostab thing. Is that a preset? Or is that a technique? I don't think so. Would you agree that lots of DnB and Psytrance producers use the automatic Cubase? I think nowadays more Ableton. Ableton's the number one. Well, I wouldn't say the number one. It's the most popular. Definitely. That's actually quite nice when we frequency split it and then only like do a filter on that mid layer, and we can maybe do like a different modulation pattern on that like top layer. Maybe something like slower, so like on the kick or something. Let's see if we can do something like this. What if I am Uncle Bat? big woof, guys. The trance gate is cool, but it's too like I want to. Yeah, I think LFO modulate it. I think we're gonna LFO modulate it. Just see here what would be the best way to do this. I think with a gain, and then we put it on a percentage based thingy, and then just modulate it by a 50. What? Oh, numlock. Modulate it by 50, and then this should be a volume control. So let's just call this high Gates. Hugh Gates. Who's that? Bill Gates' cousin. I don't know about that high sound. It's like, it's cool, but it's kind of like taking away from the slower groove of the track, and it's kind of sounding a little bit farty. And also forgot we've already got some bass elements in, like here at the beginning, so I think we might be overdoing it a bit. Well, it's got a nice groove to it. Could actually be cool to do like a higher octave sliding down at some point. Greedo Kenobi, do you think we'll get to multipass the option to use third-party plugins at some point? I guess while it would be an awesome thing, yes, I think it would be a bit of a train wreck considering how most companies design their GUIs, very kind of like, I think somebody mentioned this in the stream like a little while ago, saying that I think it's called skeuomorphic, when something is like, it looks like its real world counterpart. If you look at how faceplant and multipass are, the fact that like everything is kind of based on vectors, it's very hard to design something like that and with that kind of thing in mind, with vectors and stuff in mind, because most plugins wouldn't even, if you just think about graphically, sonically is another story. Graphically, they wouldn't even fit, Nice, but it feels like it doesn't quite fit the groove. I think we need to make those LFO shapes and stuff maybe a little bit tighter. What do you guys reckon? I'm going to take a quick break. I'll see you guys in 2 minutes. Gatekeeper, Trash 2, and Saturn. But why when you can do it all inside Multipass? But why? Why? You can do it all in Multipass. Yes, that's exactly how it's going to be. It's going to be like one run of that where it does that little thingy, and then it's going to be this one. Yes. Guys, listen to this reverb. Oh my gosh. I think I was put onto this on a Venus Theory video. Actually, most of his videos he talks about this reverb, but it's really, really good. For like taking anything and turning it into like an ambient thing, it's really good. This preset, Hyperplane, incredible. And you can also turn down the dry over here, so it's just like the reverb sound, which sounds pretty insane as well. How's that shit? I want to render out like one long piece of this, and then we can use this as like an ambient layer. Maybe put some like sidechain and stuff to the actual beat, you know? That shit be fire. Yo, have you guys heard? Cape Town, the city, my city, is on fire, dude. The mountain is burning. It's quite far from where I am, so I'm okay. But yeah, it's pretty hectic. The university in our city is like burnt down. Pretty sad. But if you guys want to check what's happening, you can search Cape Town fire. Some pretty hectic images of the mountain and stuff burning. I think it was the day before yesterday. Actually, I was sitting here and I just started smelling smoke, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I looked outside, and I could actually, like, the whole sky was like covered in smoke and stuff. And I thought it was much closer, and it was like before the news had actually broken about the fire and stuff. So I wasn't sure, like, is it in a few streets down or something like that, you know? But yeah, it turned out I'm about 10 kilometers away from it, so I'm pretty safe. Do you want to see how we did LFO tool back in the day? Select everything. Fade-ins. This was LFO tool circa 2000s. I don't know about that. Afshin Zarga, can you teach us complex arrangements of drums like this? I think I did these drums in the last stream, so you can check that out. I think I did most of the drums work in that stream. Try putting the bass in sync with the percussion. Yeah, I think it's the phase of that LFO, because I'm now changing the kind of the MIDI patterns. Those re-triggers are now happening at different points. So the phase of that kind of like LFO, I think, is slightly off. Yeah, drums aren't always easy. I guess the trick to getting like good drums is to establish a kind of groove. So like, you know, for example, kicks and snares where they should be, but then break up that kind of like, break up the monotony, but then put it back. So, for example, you establish like a rhythm, but then you kind of break the grid, and then just before the kind of bar, or just before the the bar resolves, then you snap back to the kind of grid, if that makes sense. So like here, for example, I guess with sidetrance it's less apparent because the kick is always on the 4, if you know what I mean. Getting weird frequencies on the low A. Weird good? Or weird bad? Let's just see if I've got a good example here that I can show you. Like if you think about it, like if you just break it up into kicks and snares, it's actually really, really simple beat. But it's just because of like where the snares are placed to kind of like break that grid before the end of the bar again. It kind of like creates that slightly grooving pattern, you know? pretty simple. And then like a brakes on top. Yep. But I guess it's also about how it kind of like fits with the groove of the track, you know, like if you listen to just the drums, they're pretty boring, but like the drums and the bass together, and it kind of fits, you know what I mean? Because that first kick has that kind of like sub drop and that kind of thing, you know. This is Cubase 11. it's sounding cool. Sounding good, sounding good. When do you, drums need more variation? Do you mean, Paul, do you mean the drums that are there need, the actual sequences need more movement? Or do you mean there needs to be more additions to signify transition between different parts? Because I was thinking, there was this one track that I heard in I think it's a sub-focus track or something, or a dimension actually, with this really distorted drum sounds that almost sound like synths, and that's kind of what creates the kind of like main lead. And that like loop has been kind of playing in my head. So I think we could maybe do something like that, using distorted drum sounds to try and manipulate them to sound like a kind of main synth kind of thing. Marco, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that comment. Thank you. Dude, I love how the music keeps playing while you're editing. Of course. Imagine like a graphic designer editing an image without looking at the image. You have to listen to it, my dude. Oh, that new bass adds levels. Is that Glebich? Play it, please, full. Okay, let me BRB and I'll play it for you guys full. Well, not full, like from here to like full. Okay, full. Oh yes, I've seen you asked about when do I EQ. So I generally like produce my tracks while looking at a kind of reference curve. So I try to fit things in there to make my life a little bit easier while, like when I do like start to mix the track down. Often I find when I get to that stage where I'm like, okay, it's time for the mix down, then there's not much EQing and stuff that needs to be done if you just kind of like produce the sounds to fit in, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I want to find some drum samples and we can kind of mess with them. But I want to see what's happening here with my CPU. Something's going crazy. You know what it is? I think it's this Soothe. It's not a very nice. Sorry. It's a very nice plugin, but it's not very nice to my CPU. So I think what I'm going to do is just render a couple of these pieces out. I'm lazy. No, wait, that's going to take too much time. Just do like that. And maybe that as well. The rest we can fill in. Yeah, I guess it's 50-50. Like, it's good to know, like, what you want to EQ and stuff while you're creating the track, because then, you know, when it, you know, like that, you know how it is. Like, when you get to that point where it's like, oh, now I need to mix this thing. It's like often people get bogged down by that whole, like, mixing process. But if you just, like, produce the track thoughtfully, then there's much less work for you afterwards, you know? Maybe add open hats, adds life to the drop or close. I want to do something like I can't say because I don't know the track's name, but I think it was in a mix or something that I heard this track with this really cool like drum loop thing that was like the main hook of the track, and it was like they were really distorted and processed to the point where they kind of sounded like distorted leads, but it had this really cool rhythm that just like carried the track. I think that could be cool. I'm trying to do something like that. So I'm just gonna grab a bunch of drum loops and throw them in, or not drum loops. I want to grab a bunch of drum samples and just manipulate them, throw them in a sampler and see what we can do, you know? Just clearing up some CPU space because I might want to go a bit crazy here with the processing. This lead, I'm not so convinced by it, so FM glitchy ARP thing. So I'm just going to render it and then mute it. We can kind of see if we want to use it or not. Marco S, should I buy your Vital preset pack volume 1 or volume 2? Tough question. What style do you produce? Do you like more melodic, kind of old school type of stuff? Or do you like the more FME, kind of nighttime, harder stuff? Because I would say volume 2 kind of has more sounds geared towards that nighttimey, harder FME stuff, whereas volume 1 is a lot more like acid leads, melodic stuff. I mean, they're both, it's got everything, kicks, basses, and all that stuff, and you can do a lot with, it's got building blocks, so you can do a lot with those, But I would just say straight off the bat, like, you probably have a better time. If you are looking for melodic stuff, then go with volume 1. If you're looking for FM stuff or more aggressive stuff, go with volume 2. Play that lead just a bit, please. Oh, the one I was talking about now. It's not very drum and bassy. I mean, it kind of could fit in, but it doesn't have that like drum or bass sound. You know what I mean? Is this the drum and bass track? I don't know. It's a drum and bass track. It's the same one I was making last time. I've dropped a marker in somewhere in one of the folders here. You can see this like orange line, but I can't for the life of me figure out like where I put it. That's so weird. That sample sounded so much different. It's because I was listening. Whoa, that could be interesting to process. Yo, Andrew, how you doing? That could be interesting. says tom, but it's like a pluck, you know what I mean? Yes, I reckon we can process the bejesus out of this thing. Andrew, check this reverb. It's called Cloud Seed. This free reverb. I'm not going to keep it on the sound, but just a quick reference of what it can do to just this pluck sound. You heard that pluck, right? So hyperplane. So if we take this dry out down, so it's like 100% wet. Listen to this for pads. That's just a sample with the keyboard doing notes through that reverb. So good. And it's free, dude. It's hands down one of the like biggest, lushest sounding reverbs I've ever heard. Thanks to Venus Theory, I got it from his videos. We want to get this to be more closer to like E, I think. No, I don't use any 32-bit plugins. That's a 64 Cloud Seed, 64-bit. There is a 32-bit version that comes with it, but it is 64-bit. It's because it was like tuned. That's why it just sounds like it would fit. My light bulb just popped. So I don't want to shift that bottom frequency. I like how that's like, it's got a nice punch to it. I just want to shift the top frequency so we can use multipass to like split the bands and only apply that frequency shifter to the top. I was thinking I want to duplicate this and just throw samples on and that kind of thing, but there's like 2 multi-passes, decapitator, so you could just recognize decapitator. Bruh. It's just got that pow distortion tone, you know what I mean? But I might just kill my CPU with this. So if everything just goes black and the stream ends, you know why. Let me pop this sample that we had here. I think it was, yeah, this one onto this channel, and then we can like tune it a bit. I think the max we're going to do with this like processor chain is 2. So what I'll do is I'll just render this and then throw a different sample in there, like shift the grid a bit. You know what I mean? That's a tom sound. Cool, dude. In Tech Collective Intelligence. See you soon, man. Why your Vox and Go VSTs are red, mine are grey? Because you haven't checked the settings yet, bro. Let's go with green for today. It actually looks a bit better with the things. What happened there? We summoned Skrillex's demon. Big oof. Okay, I think that's enough. I don't want to rinse this thing. It's got a nice groove to it. I don't want to rinse it too hard. Then it kind of like doesn't feel so lively anymore. You know what I mean? Yes. It's perfect. It just ties everything together. I think maybe it's just like I've kind of painted myself into this paradigm where I've worked on it so hard that I'm telling myself it's good because I don't want to kill my baby, if you know what I mean. But it's pretty fucking groovy. I think it should come in with a kick and then it's going to start the transition of this thing. I think here at this drop we should change it up a little bit. Maybe the rhythm like interplay something else. Maybe one of those main leads. So it's like bum dum 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 bum. If you know what I mean. It's good to like try envision these things in your head and like kind of sing them before you try like play them in, because it gives you a much easier idea of like where the things kind of fit in, if that makes sense. It may sound crazy. Where's your smoke at, bro? I'm gonna sort that query out very shortly. Where can we find your tracks on Bandcamp? I haven't really released any drum and bass though. So, but I see here people are enjoying this. So maybe I should work on a drum and bass thing. But I'm gonna be right back. I'll let you guys listen to what we've got so far here. No, I don't do any of that. I don't do any of that up the nose stuff. No ways. Uncle Bat, do you have a name for your DnB project? I did have one, but I wasn't very thinking back. Like, I'm not very happy with it. It's a little bit culturally appropriative. I made it up like a long time ago. Like now, it's like things are a bit different. I mean, it's not rude or anything. It's just like it's not me. So I'm thinking of changing it. So it's kind of up in the air. I don't really have an idea. But also the kind of sound has changed quite a lot from then. Like back then, it was like a lot more of melodic stuff that I was doing. It wasn't very like drum and bassy, if you know what I mean. So what were we gonna do? We were gonna here. Yeah, this does actually have a bit of a. They actually did that one track for remix, and it does have a bit of that kind of tone to it. You're right. I think the hard shit needs to go like a few more bars. We can't start widening it down now. It's like only just starting to, you know what I mean? What? We haven't even put the bass in this part. I was wondering why it sounds so bare. I don't know if this like melodic changes works with the hard part. Glitch, what primer do you use before painting the walls? Is that a joke? I don't get the reference. Oh yeah, this kick here is like slightly off. That's why it sounds a bit weird there. Sinister Funk, do you have vocals prepared, Dashglish? I don't. I don't have vocals prepared. Are you a vocalist? Send me a link. Oh, are you guys serious about the cowbell thing? Do you want cowbell? I can give you some cowbell. We can do that. We can indeed organize some cowbell. I'm thinking what could be cool is to create like to sample this like hook loop and then create like processed bits in between this one here. So it drops so that like lead drops out, but then we can fill that space with bits of the sampled loop itself. We can take a vote in the chat. Thumbs up in the chat for cowbells and thumbs down in the chat for cowbells. But if you vote, you have to hit that like button as well. That's just unfortunately how the system works. It won't count the vote if you don't hit that like button. This pitch shifter is actually fucking sick. Excuse my language. It's I think I'd like kind of like slept on it because it's like pitch shifting. You know what can it do? But it's actually so much of a granular processor more than a pitch shifter, in my opinion. What sloppy seconds, bro? We're making crazy shit here. What sync delays? I'm trying to get this like more granular kind of thing going on here rather than using it as an actual delay. You know what I mean? Oh wait, the mix is down. The problem with those pitch shifters, though, is they introduce quite a lot of time delay. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Like a lot of delay. Check it out. Like several seconds. I dig some of those sounds, but like sometimes The disperser sometimes does like ringy things, which can be cool, sometimes not. But I think we've already got a lot of harmonics going on in this track, so I'm kind of looking for more rhythmic things, you know? So we can chop this up and try only use like certain of these hits. coming together. Okay, I'm going to be right back. think I'm gonna call it soonish. So yeah, if you guys have any like further questions or anything, I'm just gonna tweak things a little bit and then probably end the stream. Probably do like one last playthrough and then end the stream. But if you guys have any questions or anything you want me to go through, best production so far. Thank you so much, Igor. Really means a lot. I think I wanted like to maybe tweak the arrangement a little bit. I think this part kind of comes in a little bit suddenly. But let's just see what we can do here. Oh, Uncle Bud, that's a good question. I haven't thought that far yet. I don't know what I feel like. Probably make like a curry or something. Can I get the project file? Unfortunately not, dude. But if you sign up on my Patreon, you can get like almost every single sound I've ever made in a video ever, and discounts to my sound packs and stuff. Okay, I know the votes voted against the cowbell, but let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's see if I can find a cowbell here, just for you, bro. Percussion cowbells. I've got a whole folder of cowbells here. Do you want electronic or acoustic? Oh shit, the mic is on. That was a nice timbre. Oh, it's so cute when it does the natural tone and then two lower ones. By the way, this is the first time I watched a live stream in my life. Are you kidding, dude? One of my live streams, or just a live stream in general. Is that how much you're enjoying my content? I appreciate it. think I left all of these things when I shifted this stuff across. I think the sound effects lane didn't get shifted. These things look a bit off here. Why is it that reverse sounds always sound louder? I don't understand that. Like, I understand a lot of things about sound, but like reverse sounds sounding louder, like I just don't get it. The physics of it, you know? Cool. I think I'm going to call it, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.